All right, good afternoon. We're here in the garage again. So today I have a little bit of a different project going on. I have my boat here, and ever since I've had this boat, the fuel gauge has always read full, which I guess technically isn't a bad thing, but it doesn't work, and we haven't ran out yet, but we've come close a couple times. So right here, I think that's reading half full right now, but we're gonna fix that. I got a new gauge right here, and we're gonna see if we can place that and make that work. But before, I wanted to kind of show how this works, and let's see if we can do this and not screw it up. So
Yeah, I didn't go the camera down a little bit.
we're gonna lift it up.
Oh, that works too.
Maybe not. Okay. Good call. So what I have here is a battery off of one of my snap-on tools, and I'm gonna take, so what it is you take the positive to the positive side of the gauge. Hold that gauge up. Connect to these, and then your black wire on the gauge right here is the transfer wire that transfers the signal from this to the gauge and lets you know how much fuel you have. So once you connect this to the blue wire on the gauge is the actual transfer wire. And then, actually, I lied. Blue is the ground. Bring that over here. The black is the transfer wire. On this particular model, they're different, I'm guessing. I don't really know. So, now that we've got it hooked up, what does the fuel gauge say?
Empty?
So now it reads full. We have this in the full position. Then as your fuel runs out, it gets lower unless something disconnected. And it gets empty.
It just takes a minute to
For
register.
the signal. So that's the way that's working. And where my gauge is actually stuck on full or half, I believe it's the gauge is the issue. Usually you can ground this out and it'll pop your all the way from empty to full and then back down to empty is what it's supposed to do. So we're gonna tear into this and see if we can get this hooked up in the boat. Thanks. All right, we're here on the boat dealing with this fuel gauge issue. And I got the fuel gauge changed, and I wanted to show you what happened. So I put this in, it's kind of temporarily here. Kind of see that? So I can show you what happens when you put power to it. And basically the issue was the gauge. So for the first time in, I don't know, three years I've had this boat or so, I can tell how much fuel I have. So watch this. Look at that, that's a thing of beauty right there. Hopefully I will not run out. Now what I'm gonna do, just to be safe, is I'm gonna change the sending unit that goes in the fuel tank as well. Goes right down there. I'm just gonna change that since I bought one. And then hopefully I'll be able to tell how much fuel I have and we will not run out. All right, so I got this thing all installed and I even got the lights on it. And when you hit the, check that out. Woo! Now we can tell how much gas we got. Pretty awesome.